Welcome, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Tech Tools number 6, interactive presentations. I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to sign in. So we also have our link there. We'll go ahead and put it in the chat as well.
It's there.
Woohoo! Thank you, Kelly. And if you have a phone, there we go again. Y'all, I stopped using Google Slides and now I feel like I'm going crazy. Is that a thing? Anybody? Let me know. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to explore ways to create interactive presentation. And so we're going to be using some checks for understanding and tech tools. So we're going to be mixing a few of those. And then we're going to take a look at a presentation and embed some of our knowledge and use those tools within. So something that you have, we will not have a note-taking guide this time, but we do have an interactive presentation resource. So if you can go ahead, the bit.ly is right there on the screen. So go ahead and sign in and grab that resource.
See if I typed that right. It should be in the chat if I did.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you have signed in. Okay. All right, awesome. And give me a thumbs up if you have the resource. Okay, I'll go ahead and give a couple of seconds. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump in here. And we're going to start a warm-up activity. So this is called hands up. So everyone will have to do a hands up. So person or little emoticon, it's called an emoticon. And so I'm going to ask you to put your hands up for this activity. So if you use PowerPoint or Google Slides in your virtual classroom, go ahead and put your hands up. Okay, a few more, perfect. Okay, go ahead and ask one more, two more actually. Hands up if you have less than 5 students responding in your virtual classroom. So go ahead and pick your hands up. Okay, so we have a few. And now we're going to do a Zoom poll. Ooh. Where is my... So I'm going to go ahead and send you a poll. I just want to see which interactive tool that everyone is primarily using. So you might use more than one, but if any of these, just go ahead and vote for whichever one you're using. Okay, so we have some Nearpod, some other. So if you're using something else, go ahead and put that in the chat. So we have 3 others. So what are y'all using? Ooh, Trello. Andy, can you tell us a
Trello.
little bit about Trello?
Yeah.
Oh, I just learned about it 2 weeks ago. I'm brand new to teaching. It's the best way to collaborate, I've found.
Oh,
So that's the main reason I'm using it. It allows, it's, I mean, it's kind of just really basic. You can kind of create anything with it, and then real time different students can kind of work on all kinds of things and then have agency over how the picture's changing simultaneously.
oh my, so cool. Is it free? That's my question.
It is free. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to check that out. Thanks, Andy. Anybody else using anything different? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Kat. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Nearpod, Pear Deck, and Edpuzzle. And then also for those of you that have the resource, you can see that there's some other things that we're going to be talking about too that require no technology. So we're going to be using some of those too in the second half of the presentation. So before just jumping off, we're going to go ahead and go through some of our tools. So the first one is Nearpod. So this is a free add-on. So you can use it for Google Slides. You can also use it if you go into Teams as a component in there as well. It also connects to Canvas. So you can use it for multi-LMSs. It's free and there's premium versions. So the only difference between the free and the premium version is that you have more storage space. And you'll find that with every tool, all three tools that we talk about today, is that the premium offers more storage space. But the good thing about Nearpod is that you don't always have to have your lessons live to take up that storage space. So you can have a lesson live for maybe 2 weeks, take it off and kind of reclaim that storage space. So something that you do, and we're going to model this in Nearpod too. We're going to do it right now. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. Something else you can do, it has 19 options. So one way that I really like it is you can use kind of the codes to create this menu board. So there's a big template of lessons that you can choose from. So there's lessons that other teachers have put in there, and you can choose to create one of those lessons or edit a lesson. And I really love that. So I found these on Social Emotional Learning, and I actually found 9. So I was able to create this tic-tac-toe styled menu board, which I think is awesome. And then students could go in and then they would just put in the codes for the lessons that they're interested in. So again, we're gonna just try it out here. So as you can see on the right-hand side, it pops in as an add-on. And again, what I love about Nearpod, and I'm sorry, because I prefer it over Pear Deck, simply because in the free version, there's 19 different options. So you have these on your resource, but you can add audio. My favorite is the collaborate board. You can draw, fill in the blanks. You can connect it to your Flipgrid. So if you have a classroom Flipgrid, students can upload videos directly on there. I love the matching pairs. That's actually my husband. He teaches AV, and that's his favorite thing to use is the matching, especially because it's very vocabulary loaded. So let students practice. You have open-ended questions, polls, quizzes, and you can even do videos. You can edit videos too. So this is something new that Nearpod added. You can add questions and you can trim videos. So if you find one on YouTube, you can do that directly through Nearpod. So we're going to go ahead and add one just so you can see kind of what I'm talking about. And we'll just add a pair. So you can add instructions. I'm just going to do something really just simple and mediocre, but you can put A, B, or you can add an image if you would like to do that. Done. And then you would have a pair, hit save. Oh, I need to have 2 pairs. Excuse my dogs. And then your slide would just pop up into your slide deck. So something to know is that you can create these slides without them taking up your memory. So you don't have to worry about losing memory if it's in here. It only adds onto your storage space if you click save and go to Nearpod, then you publish. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up that chat. Any questions about Nearpod? And again, we're gonna use it in a second, so. Okay. And I'm gonna stay out here because we're gonna do a little interaction other than me telling you if you have any questions. So we're gonna do another interaction. It's 2 to 4 fingers. And if you teach high school, you know why number 1 is not on there. So 2 to 4, and I want you to hold up your fingers for what you like best about Nearpod. So if you'd like the multiple options for interaction, you're gonna hold up a 2. Anybody? That's my favorite thing. Okay. If you like how easy it is to just incorporate into your slides, you're going to hold up a 3. And if you like 4, if you think it's going to save you time creating your presentations, go ahead and give me a 4. A couple of 4s. We're going to see. I might change your mind, a few of you, on those 4s. So when we work later. Our next one is Pear Deck. So this is very similar to Nearpod. They have same interactive tools. It's free. There's a premium versions of this as well. Your premium version will give you 2 additional tools. So there's 2 tools that are additional. It's the drawing and the draggables. So those are your 2 premium add-ons for Pear Deck with the paid version. It also works with Canvas, Google Classroom, and Teams. And then your storage space, once you publish to Pear Deck, it'll give you a code that students can use. This is one of my favorite things about Pear Deck. They have templates, so they don't have lessons, but they have templates. So they have template slides you can already just use and insert that are already made. And this is one of them, true or false. So you can ask a question and then mark true or false. They do have an audio option, but that audio option is only for premium right now. But hopefully they change it. So we're going to go ahead and add in a Pear Deck slide. So as you can see on this right-hand side, they have the template library, and then these are the options: text, draw, draggable. Draw and draggable, again, are premium options. Choice, number, and you can even have websites. I'm going to go to the template library because I really like how it has here. If you're looking for something at the beginning, during, or the end, this is still relatively the beginning. And so these are all already templates you could use. What do you wonder about today's topic? And then you would just choose it and it automatically inserts that into your presentation. So that is Pear Deck in a nutshell. And then we're going to go over that again in a bit. The next one is Edpuzzle. So Edpuzzle was one that was new to me, but it's definitely been around for a bit. I had just never personally used it before this school year. So there's free and premium versions. Again, the premium version is going to give you more videos. So the way the storage space works, and you can see kind of my note in there, is the free version, you have up to 20 videos. But there's ways for you to get more videos. So if you refer a colleague or even just refer Edpuzzle to your school district and kind of show proof of that, like through an email, you get more storage space. I think is really cool because those really don't take too much time other than sending an email. It works with Canvas, Google Classroom, and Schoology. I'm not sure if it works with Teams because there's not a direct link. You can't just link it to your Teams classroom, but you can refer your students to create accounts in Edpuzzle. So something that's really, really cool about Edpuzzle is since it does link directly with your Canvas and Google Classroom, that you can grade in Edpuzzle and it show up in your LMS, which I think is amazing because it just saves time, right? You don't have to worry about grading in one and grading in the other. You can grade automatically. So that'll definitely save you time. And so we're going to watch a short video. I'm going to go ahead and present so you can see it a little bit bigger. And this will tell you more.
Want to create amazing video lessons in minutes? Edpuzzle is your missing piece. With Edpuzzle, you can choose from the millions of videos available from YouTube, National Geographic, TED Talks, Khan Academy, and more. You can also reuse ready-to-go video lessons made by other teachers or upload your very own teaching video. Then use Edpuzzle's video editor to create your perfect lesson. Embed your own questions to check your students' understanding, cut sections to show your students only the most important parts of the video, and even record voiceover so you can explain concepts in your own words. Once you've finished, you can assign it to your students in just one click and prevent skipping to make sure your students don't miss a thing. When you want to check in on your students' progress, use Edpuzzle's hassle-free analytics to get all the information you need. See who still needs to watch the video, what your students responded, and their total scores. So remember, with Edpuzzle's free platform, you can make any video your lesson.
So motivating. Love it. So we're going to do another check for understanding interactive activity. It's called screen on, screen off. So if you have ever, can't even see. Whoa. Y'all, it's going to drive me nuts today. If y'all have ever used Edpuzzle before, go ahead and turn your screen on. So everyone, if you have not turned it off. Okay, good. So we have quite a few. Okay. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Miss Ray. So Miss Ray is getting ready to present her lesson on the Cold War. Lately, she's noticed that only a few students are responding during her lectures. And so she's getting ready to present her lesson in the Cold War and would like some help. So we're going to work together to make her presentation interactive. And so this is another tool as well. If you can see the pop in, pop out. So you do have that in your resource guide too. So how to kind of create these bubbles where you can pop in and out, appear and disappear, and then some other things too. So I do want to show you some tips and tricks if you're just working in PowerPoint, not necessarily Google Slides. And so you have those on your resource as well. So we're going to jump to the presentation. And if you don't have your resource guide open, if you can go ahead and take a minute to open that now, because I'm going to ask you for some suggestions as well. So we really are going to work together to take this presentation and make it a little more interactive. And we're going to use a mix of Nearpod, Pear Deck, and some of the strategies that we used before too that do not require technology. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of time. Make sure you have that resource open. And I'm going to open my chat because I'm going to ask for some feedback here. I can move things around. Okay. So our first slide, we have a warm-up question. So looking at your resource guide, putting in the chat, what do you think we could use? What should we use for our warm-up question? The first person to respond, that's what we'll do. Rebecca, thank you for joining us. What do you think we should use? Should we use a Nearpod, a Pear Deck for our warm-up?
I think maybe Pear Deck. I haven't
Okay,
been
that
really
sounds good.
familiar with Edpuzzle, but I have seen it like Pear Deck, and I think they do fill in the blanks if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let's definitely, let me go in here. Okay.
Or some kind of text, I believe.
Yes, let's go ahead and let's use Pear Deck. Okay, give me a second. It like popped me out. Technology. Okay, I'm back. So go ahead and open up our Pear Deck. And for this one, we can use our choice. So we'll actually use our text to create a slide here. And then when we open it in Pear Deck, students can respond directly on the screen. Okay, so then students will be required to answer on the screen. Love that. Do you want to also try maybe a Nearpod one too, just so y'all can see some different options? If we did, well, we can see them later. So roots here. So we have another slide of information that students would need to know. So we have information about the United States and a typo. I don't want Joanna to catch me having that typo. So something that we can do here, we're going to use a non-tech tool this time. So something that is pretty easy is to create fill in the blanks. And so you can also use this with a Nearpod, but I'm going to show you how to use it without a tool. So if you would just create a shape and add text, you can add here. So we'll add our words here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple words from the text that I might want to highlight. And then I would just erase these words, put in a space. And then, so students would see it this way. And then as I'm lecturing, I can go ahead and drag those boxes in. This one might have to be smaller. And then if students who are listening, if they're taking notes, they can go ahead and fill those in as well. So that's just a way you can do fill in the blanks and movable objects. Has anybody used movable, like fill in the blanks and text boxes like that before?
I think I've done fill in the blanks, of course, but I've never thought to use the movables. I think that that's kind of visually like it draws them back into the screen with the keywords versus just the underline. And I think you could also make that interactive by saying like, okay, Andy, what word do we pull up now? What do you think fits here? You know?
Yes, definitely. I love that, Kelly. Even saying, Kelly, a system of which word do you think, right? And then you even have just a little check for understanding there as well. I do, Joanna, I love that. You can color code the words. I love that. Like if it's a key vocabulary word, maybe you can put it in a specific color so that they know to be looking for that in their notes.
Or even
That's
if you're
awesome.
using the different divisions in social studies, you could have all of, the words one color for each one of the categories. I think that's an awesome idea.
That is awesome. I do agree. I hadn't even thought about that. I haven't even thought about math. I think this would be really awesome too for math because it can drag in the different equations or like the different symbols. Jerry, I'm sorry if I used the wrong terminology. Sorry. So again, super simple. Don't need an account or anything like that to do this, but it still adds in that interactive piece. Our next two slides Miss Ray has is she has two images. So she has one from the Yalta conference and one from the Potsdam conference. And so thinking about what she would like to do with these is have them compare the two photos. So we're going to use our tech tool Nearpod to do a drawing so that they can compare and contrast those two images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my Nearpod. And I'm going to do a draw it. And so here I'm going to say compare, or maybe let's see, Kelly, help me out. Identify, maybe circle some differences between the two images.
Yeah, you're gonna have them draw it.
Yeah. They can also write too with the drawing tool. So they can make lines, circle, write.
Yep.
Circle some differences between the two images. And so originally, if you notice, I had those two images on two different slides. But what I did was I just took those two images and put them side by side in Word and created one image. And I'm going to go ahead and use that as my background image here. So I'm going to drag it in there. So now you have the two image and you have the instructions to circle any differences that the students see, so then they can really compare these two photos before we learn about the two conferences. And then I'll hit save. And there it is. So now I don't need these. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these two slides. And now I have my compare the two side by side. Ah, Joe, I saw yours in the chat, but you can definitely circle differences and maybe box similarities. I love that. I saw it too late, but we can edit. So we'll just edit that. And then hit save. So I hope that in our earlier, when we talked about time saving, you're seeing how some of these can definitely save some time, just adding quick checks for understanding and using different methods. The big three. So there's a lot of important information. I was told by a very valued source, AKA Kelly, that there's some very valuable information on this slide. So I'm gonna go ahead and poll the group. What is one thing we should try? Should we try another Pear Deck or should we try a Nearpod?
Nearpod, Jerry says.
Nearpod. Okay, Jerry. And
So does Melanie. Melanie agrees, Nearpod.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try a Nearpod. Let's see. Let's go ahead and try a Collaborate board. This is another one of my, like I said before, this is my favorite tool, just because if you've ever used like a Padlet or a different kind of message board, this one's very similar to that. You can choose your backgrounds. We have a blue theme, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the blue. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my topic. And I'm gonna ask my question. Here you can add an image. I wonder if I'll find anything for the Delta conference. Yeah. Oh, this is a close-up. I use that one. Save. And then now, once you make your Nearpod live, your students will respond and you can see their responses pop up on your message board or your Collaborate board. So then there we can check their understanding of the previous slide 4. So now they have their message board here.
Hey,
So
Candy, I've got a question about that one.
Yeah.
With the Collaborate board,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way that you can see what they're putting in before it goes live? Or
Yes.
is whatever they say goes no matter what?
No. So once you make it published, so you go ahead and you publish it, then it'll say into your teacher settings. So in there you can say, okay, this is an asynchronous or this is a synchronous lesson. So if you're teaching currently live and in person, you can make it synchronous so that they're doing it at the same time. And then from there in your settings, you can say monitor. So then you approve what gets posted, which is yay, awesome. Something else too, when you publish, you can publish in advance. So if you're asynchronous, you can say you have until Friday to do this lesson, or you have until next Monday or however long. So you can also post in advance, which is another great tool that both Pear Deck and Nearpod offer. Okay, we have another slide 6. And I'm going to go ahead and poll the group. What should we add? Or do y'all feel that we need one? Maybe we have too many. Maybe they need a slide break. Kelly, is this vital information?
I'm going to go with not right now. I mean, it leads to stuff, but the whole purpose is Cold War. So we're okay right here.
So
Didn't
go
even
ahead
know
and
the
give
UN
me-
was created.
Give me a thumbs up if we would like to just keep straight lecture for this one slide. Okay. We're good.
Joanna wondered if there's a video clip on here through Edpuzzle.
So yes, we are going to get to one. And we're actually going to get to it pretty soon, I believe. I think I missed it. We're going to go back. But yes, Joanna, let's go ahead and add one. And we're going to go to the conferences. So I'm going to add a slide because we're going to go to Edpuzzle. And we're going to do that. So I found a video on YouTube. And so I went to my Edpuzzle. And I went to YouTube. And I found a video on the conferences. Let me see if it'll let me. There it goes. And I want to insert this. So as you can see here in Edpuzzle, this is the cut screen. So I know for a fact that there's some questions towards the end that I don't really want them to answer right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video at 1:57 instead of letting it go this extra minute. And I'm going to add my own questions. So if you can see here are your options, you can do a voiceover and then here are your questions. I'm going to go to questions. Now I'm going to add, let's see, I'll add a multiple choice question. And I have this here. And you can come up with your own questions, which I really love. And you can also put them in between the video. Now, just for sake of time, I kind of did these in advance. Copy. Then you add in your answer choices. This is the correct answer. Save. So then they would have a multiple choice question there. And then if you wanted to add, you can add an open-ended question. I keep clicking the wrong one, sorry. Save. And then again, you can grade directly from Edpuzzle and then link that to your LMS. And then from here, if I wanted to finish, then you could assign, and then you can use a future date, assign to a class. You can create a class, assign it directly to there to everyone, or you can have your link. And then you can go ahead and directly assign that puzzle and then have it, those 2 questions. And you can add more questions and then grade them in to that as well. Okay, we have a map. So I think we're doing a pretty good job of helping Miss Ray. I don't think so myself. So on slide 10, we'll go ahead and here, so I know that this is a political cartoon and we do have a strategy that helps us with our political cartoons. So what we can do here is I know we did a response on Nearpod. We can also do another one on our Pear Deck where they'll respond to directly, and then we can put in our strategy on here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put our optic strategy. Put a text box. And then students will have this strategy there. So they have it right next to the image, and then they can also respond in that text box once the live lesson. Then we have a little bit of our policy, and then we go into the assignment. So that was quite a bit of us using Nearpod, Pear Deck, and then we've also gone through some other strategies that we could use, such as the movable boxes. Is there any questions about any of those 3 tools?
You can throw it in the chat or you feel free to unmute. Ask away.
Okay, so I'm going to go over just quickly 2 other things that you have on that resource, but this time we're going to use PowerPoint. So if you are not a district that uses, Google Slides, so if you're not a Google district, we're going to show kind of some things that you can do also on PowerPoint. And I want to show you quickly how to do some flip cards. So you have these steps on your resource. but I do want to show you so you can know how to do the matching, and then we'll put templates. So there's tons of free templates of how to do matching cards, flip cards, different text box tools like the fill in the blanks that we did earlier. And I'll put those in the resource folder as well for our tech tools presentation. So you can go back and access those as well. Let me share here. So I'm going to show you how to do some very easy flip boxes. So we have our PowerPoint. And what you're going to do is you are going to insert a shape. So I'm going to use these just because they look like cards. So you're going to do two shapes. You are going to add an animation. So for the first one, you're going to add an entry animation. So you can pick any of these. I like the appear. Some people like the swivel. That's up to you. And then for the second card, you're going to add an exit animation. I like this one. Track. So from here, you're going to open up your animation pane. We have to add text just so we can. Okay. Oh no. What was the conference? Yalta. And then here, what happened? They all agreed. Okay. Cancel. Sections might not be the right word, right, Kelly? Okay.
It'll
so
work.
now that I have my flip cards, you'd go to animations. And so here you can see that you have start on click. And then you also have the second animation, which is this one as well. So this one is going to start, you're going to change that to start after previous. And then we are going to see. Oh, I forgot to switch them. Missed a step. That's why we check them. So here in our animation pane, I am going to reorder them here, and then I'm going to stack them. So then you have what happened at the Yalta conference, click it, and now it didn't work. Who has their reference? Let me open it. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm on one screen. Now I don't know.
I've got it open, Candy.
Can you share
So
with me?
yeah, flip cards, insert shape one, add text or image, animation, entry. You've got all that. Insert shape two, add text or image, animation, exit, open animation plane, put exit shape first, add entry image start after previous.
This one's on click. This one's.
Yeah, exit shape
after.
first, and then stack your images over the other.
Yeah, let's try it again. This has been a trial and error. I have them flipped, don't I? But yes, this is how you do flip cards.
It's trial and error. It always is.
Trial and error.
You always know how to do it. And then when you go to do it again, it's like, wait, how do I do this? And then you get your routine going. And then you got it down.
That's exactly how it happened. And I played around with this multiple times and I'm like, I got it. I got it. And now I'm flipping them over. But I've lost everybody. Let me see. Okay. But if for some reason we can't get the order, all we have to do is a simple copy and paste. Right. Computer, do not fail me now. There we go. Stack. I know I said that that was really easy and I did not make it easy, but it really is, I promise.
You got to
And
use
that's how
it.
you do flip cards. So we did, I hope that that resource is really fun thing for you to use. There's, again, there's different ways that you can use with technology and without technology. If you did not get to use the resource, I want to put that up again. I also want to put up if you did not get to sign in, make sure you sign in so that way you can get credit. And am I back? Computer's going crazy.
It's back in the chat also, just in case.
And again, if there's any questions, we'll go ahead and take some time for any questions that you might have. And we'll do one last check for understanding or participation. If you are likely to use either Nearpod, Edpuzzle, or Pear Deck, or maybe a PowerPoint match cards, you're braver than me. Go ahead and turn your screen on. Yay!
Andy with the win. Look at him.
All right, so that makes me happy. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for your participation. I hope to see y'all on our next session. We're gonna be covering multiple other tools like Show Me, Wakelet, Padlet, and how to use Google Keep for your students to keep notes. So I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.